I made a video a little while back on Ichiro throwing out what was, more than likely, the hardest first pitch in MLB history a few years ago, when, as MLB themselves pointed out in a social media post, he apparently clipped 94 miles an hour on his ceremonial toss to J-Rod. You could certainly make the case that this was the nastiest pitch of this type ever recorded because of its sheer speed, but I personally would disagree. I think that this honor could very easily instead go to big league folk hero Rick Ankiel, who didn't even throw a fastball. For those of you who don't know the impressiveness that was Ankiel's career, let me give you a brief overview. Back around the turn of the century, he was the top pitching prospect in the entire major leagues. Then, after an amazing first season, he ended up developing the yips in the playoffs versus the Braves, which effectively ended his pitching career. But he wouldn't quit, instead transitioning to an outfielder with an absolute howitzer of an arm, allowing him to play another 7 years in the big leagues, making some of the best throws we've ever seen along the way, as well as blasting as many as 25 home runs in one season. The date of what would be his notable offering was September 29th, 2021. Almost a decade after he'd already retired, Rick had already thrown out an offering of this type on a big league mound about 4 years before, showing good form, but still spiking what looked to be a fastball grip, with him not really trying to put any kind of real effort behind it. That's what made him stepping on the bump and doing this so surprising. That's right, what you just witnessed was a first pitch curveball, detailed in a post at the time by one of my favorite social media accounts, Pitching Ninja, who actually was the one who reminded me of this moment the other day when he posted a long video on his own channel where he got to talk to Rick. That's also why this variation shows the ball trail. It's actually the only footage I was even able to find on the internet of the offering. This feature does do a good job of showing just how nasty this pitch was, as he actually snapped that thing off, generating so much movement that it scared the announcer behind home plate, as you can see from his little flinch, and surprised his catcher, who thankfully was able to grab onto it without taking it in the shins or something. What a cool moment, and once again, I highly recommend that Pitching Ninja video if you have even a passing interest in Rick's story.
Alright everybody, if you made it this far, I appreciate you watching, and if you did, consider checking out any of these other videos on your screen right now for other content just like this. Also, if you ever see anything you'd like to see me detail in the video, feel free to reach out to my email, basebpoet@gmail.com, and if I end up using your idea, I'll give you a shout out. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day.